shortly. A great evening, everyone. Welcome to the virtual roundtable. It's definitely a blessing to have all of you here, especially if it's your first time. We are glad to have you here. Thank you. Thank you. My name is Lady K, your host, and we have a great program for you this evening. Have special guests with me, but before we get started, I want to open us up in prayer as we do always. God, we thank you for this day. Thank you for allowing us to come together once again. God, we ask you to touch, bless, heal, set free, and deliver right here at this round table. God, let something be said that will bless someone this evening, that will help them to shift their mindsets, God, in order to provoke change. And we thank you right now. We give you praise. We give you honor. And for those that would be watching later on, God, bless them in a special way so that they will still get something from this round table. We give you honor. We give you glory that is due unto your name, Jesus. Amen.
Amen.
Yeah. So, guys, again, welcome here to the virtual round table. We're going to be talking about money this evening. I have a young man that has an awesome story, and he wants to share it this evening, wants to open your minds, give you an awakening so that you can have more wisdom, knowledge, and understanding about this thing that we have so many issues with, and that is money. But before he come, I'm going to call Miss Victoria Bateman. She's going to introduce him. I met Victoria. Let me tell you about it. During the pandemic, I don't know about you all, but this pandemic has been awesome for me because there are so many things going on in the pandemic, so many different connections, so many new things are happening, and it's just a blessing to be able to gain a new client during the pandemic. I'm always looking for divine connections, and this is definitely one. We're working on another project together, but she began to tell me about this organization that she's a part of, Our Money Matters. And it was very intriguing. So she connected me with her connect. And here we are today. Ms. Victoria Bateman is the operations manager for Our Money Matters. And they're definitely going to give us insight on all of this in a few minutes. So Ms. Bateman, I'm going to turn it over to you. You can announce the guests and we will go from there. Thank you.
Well, first of all, I want to say thank you, Kiah, for allowing us to be a part of the virtual round table tonight. I would like to introduce to you Omar Yamini. Omar is a campus community recruiter of Our Money Matters, which he will explain who we are a little later. He is the author of What's Wrong with You? What You, Your Children, and Your Students Need to Know About My 15-Year Imprisonment from age 20 to 35. And he's a youth development professional that creates and implements restorative justice and SEL programs designed specifically to help youth and keep them from ever going to prison. So the next voice that you will hear is Omar.
Well, good evening. Good evening, everyone. Thank you for the invitation. It's an honor and privilege to be here. At any time when people ask you to be a part of something wonderful, something special, to share information that can benefit us all. So thank you for that. So this is the first time I'm on your platform. So you tell me how you want this to go.
So like she's turned over to you. You can start however you want to. I know you definitely have a testimony. You're going to take us to Our Money Matters, what it is, unfold that. So whatever angle you want to go from, we're here for it all. Edwin?
Well, we all have stories and backgrounds, especially experiences that led us to who people we are now. And as for me, it started hard, 20 years old. I was 20 years old, Southside Chicago, when I was arrested and later sentenced to 30 years, first-degree murder under the theory of accountability. Now, what that means is, I tell like young people, you shouldn't have been with them law. Okay, that's the law where you do not have to have a gun. You don't have to be driving that car. If you with your buddy, with somebody who commits a crime, and you with them, in the state of Illinois, many places around, young people know it as guilty by association. In Illinois, the legal term is theory of accountability. They are saying we have a theory that we can hold you accountable for somebody else's action. It is the single largest grab of young Black youth, Black and brown youth anywhere in the country. Nothing is even close to holding everybody accountable for what, when that guy had, oh, he had a gun, everybody get him. So that is the single reason why the numbers are as ballooned as they are. When you can grab 5 people for one charge, do it. That's their thinking. So I went to prison for a theory of accountability, not saying that I had a gun, but that I knew this could happen. Raised in a 2-parent household with, there's 6 of us, 3 boys, 3 girls. One brother was a 9-time All-American at University of Iowa, had his NFL, 6-year NFL career. I have another brother who is a sergeant in the Air Force. Sister who's an educator, early childhood educator. One's a property manager. It still happened to me. I was raised in a family that parents valued education, valued faith in education. And it's still, that allure of the street still made its way into my home and got a hold of me. And while my brothers and sisters were, off college graduates and being successful, there I was serving a 15-year on a 30-year prison sentence. That was hard. It's hard being in prison for a crime you didn't commit. I had 2 of Chicago's notorious detectives who were actually on my case. And show you how God works. It seems like some things are coming back around. So there may be an opportunity for me to pursue some things on that end. But it's interesting that I went to prison for accountability, that language, that term, theory of accountability, because that's what actually developed in me. I became more of an accountable person, thinking about what happened to me, being accused of some things because of company, led me to be a high character person. Like, if you're hanging out with 4 fools, you're the 5th one, and there's no explanation behind it. You are, how can you explain to your parents and anybody who cares for you? I tell our young people that I wasn't with them. I didn't do that. You with these people every day. This is what y'all do. Everybody know you for doing this. So now when it goes down, you act like you ain't know. So that's not how character works. And so that is the root of my work. I came home from prison after 15 years. I wrote a book, What's Wrong with You? What You, Your Children, and Our Students Need to Know About My 15-year imprisonment from age 20 to 35. 15 straight years. And what's interesting is I was arrested a couple of months before the law changed in the state of Illinois, whereas when you have a murder charge, you have to do 100% of what the judge give you. So had I been arrested 2 months later, I would still be in prison serving that whole 30 years. I would not be here talking to you. So I had, as it was, I had to do half of the time the judge sentenced me. So I had to do 15 years on that 30. And I came home from 1996 to 2011. Interesting period, it was a technological boom. I saw the internet for the first time in my life in 2011. The cell phone thing was all brand new. Well, at least the technology. We had the flip phones that just came out when I was arrested. But the technology has developed and ballooned since. Went to school, went to UIC, University of Illinois at Chicago for undergrad. And there I was invited to go grad school by the dean of the College of Education, where I completed my master's degree in education in youth development and began to further develop youth programs, but specifically aimed at the type of behavior that our young, helping them to manage that behavior that leads to prison, the attitudes and the behavior. It started with more restorative justice practices, which in spirit is a wonderful thing. It actually, it's something we had to practice in prison just to keep the peace. Now, we didn't know we were defining it as restorative justice practices. Of course, we didn't have those academic definitions, but that is basically what we did to have to you circle up, let's talk this out because it could get crazy. It can get real violent real quick. So with that work, developed a few programs that I ran along with my book. I was honored to have it Book of the Year. I didn't win. I was nominated Book of the Years by a group out of School Library Journal. That was exciting for me, especially because that particular group dealt with youth incarcerated across the country, and they really got a lot out of what it is that I wanted to convey through my work, and that led me. Then the pandemic hit. Shut schools down. People were trying to figure out what they were going to do. And a friend of mine who knew me through my work with school, with organizations, with neighborhood foundations, reached out to me because she had this wonderful opportunity of a financial literacy program that was called Our Money Matters. And she knew that I was a mission-oriented type of person. So to hear that this organization was backed and funded by a well-known money machine in this country, Wells Fargo Foundation, even though some people have their issues with them. But Wells Fargo Foundation came through and provided and funded what may be, in my opinion, the most comprehensive financial literacy education platform that I've seen. And we have an opportunity to put this in our homes, in the homes of our communities who suffer the most. We have an opportunity, in fact, our name of our organization, HBCU CDAC, with the lead word HBCU, the mission is to provide financial literacy, this platform, this education to all of America's HBCUs at no cost. And I want you to hear that, and I want share the news. This financial literacy initiative, this education, this platform that Our Money Matters is offering is at no cost. Organization, to the school, to the family, and in it, it provides not just courses that you can take that pricks your conscience, I want to say, because it pricks your conscience to certain financial terms that you may have been, so many of us may have been familiar with, as we became, responsible adults. But now it provides some definition. It provides some understanding. It provides remedies, a skill platform for you to follow, for you to guide yourself and actually become more informative on what might be the single greatest issue that we are having in some of our homes with not managing our money. One thing in particular, African American communities, I can speak for myself. I won't speak for others. I didn't grow up in a household talking about money and managing money. But now here is a platform in which we can provide courses on retirement. We have courses on how to prepare for your own child's education. We have courses on how you can pay back your own student loans in certain time, on time. The site provides tools such as top resumes. Put your resume in this place, you pay $150 for a resume. With this particular platform, whoever's a user, you submit it for free. We have scholarship tools that you can find local scholarships, local, state, across the country, anywhere at your fingertips for our young people who've never had this type of this platform, this type of platform, this type of information available to us in our homes before. So our mission is, if the people are willing to accept it, is to provide the type of financial literacy information that we have always needed. And the beauty of it, the beauty of it is how easy it is to read, to absorb. It was even created with that in mind. So many people, don't have the education for financial literacy. So the entire platform is done with a Lyles level of 6th grade. So like we really can start moving our youth, our children, our communities, our congregations. We approach our congregations with it. It's not just for the schools, not just the HBCUs, but for community organizations who've always been, and faith-based organizations who've always been the bedrock of our communities. We want our congregations to take a look for those churches, those faith-based organizations who have, and I know some who have money groups who they do investing together. This is a good opportunity for some of them to share and pass on to whatever types of activities each of our many congregations across the country are doing. So that, in a nutshell, is how I came from being charged with murder, serving the time, doing the time, starting a life, building a life, and now helping people who could use the most help and giving it to them first.
That's good, Omar. That's good. Can you break it down and give us a little bit more in depth on the program? What is the program? What does it entail? Take us through some of it.
Well, Victoria is here, and there are some operational things that she definitely can touch on. That she's much better at than I am. But what I can tell you is the impact that we are going for. This is 1 in 3 HBCU students have $60,000 student loan debt. Like this is what we're talking about. And our schools, not just HBCU country, but community places across the country, these student loans is a form of predatory lending. These young people have never in their lives went and got any money, any credit card, anything, except when they went to school for their first time in that student loan. And if any of you remember school in the fall, October, September, when that student loan money came in, it was party time. Cars, clothes, people was clean. I don't know what I'm talking about, because the young people have not been trained, have never been trained is the word, have never been trained how to manage money. And that's what OMM hopes. That is the mission, to provide a financial literacy education that you don't even have to pay. Look, you don't even got to pay for. Here it is. Listen, let's get this together. So that is what we have. And when you take the course, when you log in, there are courses that you can take at your own pace, that range from, again, from retirement to IRA savings, all the way down to buying your own home and doing your own budgeting. So they range. What's also impressive is the topics. Every so often we have, excuse me, not every so often, but I'm gonna say every 2 weeks, once a week, maybe 2 weeks, we have our articles are like updated all the time. So there's new information at all times on the financial world. So be honest with you, this is one of those programs that kind of, if we can take root, if we get it to take root, and help to eliminate some of the problems that we've always had. Because honest with you, a lot of parents don't even know where to start with that conversation with their children. And that's good with this, because with this is, here's a platform, here you go. You can kind of set them down and let them play with it. Take your own courses. The millionaire calculator, young people like to play with those calculators, some of these tools. So it's in a sense, it's as if you have taken their little iPad or whatever toys they're playing. They're these kids like these Roblox and whatever other little things they like to go on, and have them play with the website. Have them play with the tools, the financial tools, just to get in the habit of pricking the conscience about money managing.
That's good. Ms. Bateman, you want to go ahead from there?
I definitely agree with everything Omar said. Like when you initially go in, it'll ask you to register. And like he said, the entire platform is free. You can go to ourmoneymatters.com and go in, sign up for free. If you're an organization, HBCU graduate, you can sign up as an alumni. If you don't see your school on there, just request. If you are interested in your school being in there, just let us know and we can contact the school and see if we can get them to come on board. But just to give you an idea of some of the courses, Omar had gave you a few. But when you initially start on, what you'll start on, the first course you'll take is the financial wellness checkup. With the financial wellness checkup, it's an assessment of what you know about finances. And during that course, it'll tell you your weaknesses and strengths. And based on your score, it'll tell you, okay, these are the courses you need to take to help you understand about, let's say, buying a home or investing or even starting your own business. It's an awesome tool for anybody to use. Once you do that, then we have the money personality tool, which will help you learn more about using money, investing, banking, everything that involves finances. So we would definitely encourage you to go on and just look at it. And a lot of, like, if you have any students or if you know anybody that may not be familiar with finances real well, this is the best tool for free that you can definitely try out and just share with everybody. Because a lot of people, like you said, a lot of people my age, and I'm not going to tell you what that is, but a lot of people my age, we were taught survival. We weren't taught, okay, let's go and start a business or you can invest in this. It was survival. You need to go get a job, do what you have to do, and make sure you can survive. With this tool, it takes you to a whole different level to give you a better understanding about financial literacy and make you feel more confident about knowing about finances. So I would encourage everyone to at least go check it out.
That's good. That's good. So you're saying this is good for families, for husband and wife, for just for anybody. It doesn't matter how old or young you are. Of course, you know, you want to be able to understand it as far as the youth, but it's just for anybody to go to it and open it up and see what it is about our money that we don't understand.
Most definitely. It's for, I mean, absolutely everybody. And like I said, I would encourage everybody to at least go and check it out and register and just get a feel of it. If you don't take any other course, take the financial wellness checkup just to see how familiar you are with financial literacy. And you will be surprised what you know and what you don't know.
Can you give us a little bit of what's inside of some of these programs?
What are some things that's in that program, Omar?
So, you know, be honest with you, it is best explored. It really is. And when we are presenting it to the universities around the country, we tell them the same thing. Because it's like, it's difficult to like explain. It's that because one is it's very comprehensive, it's detailed. And number two, it's free. And that's kind of hard for people to accept. Like, you know, you're not charging us for this. So be honest with you, the best thing is to go on the site and explore, to poke around and see. But the money personality is excellent, as Victoria said, and the job search. So we also have a job search on there, and a paid intern search. So our students don't have to go all over the place looking for these interns as they're looking to complete their work. But when I say this program works, soon as I started working here and I took a few courses, there was one in particular about paying down debt because it was bothering me, my own financial situation. And when I took the particular course on paying down all that debt, I just said, you know what, that's it. That was the sign I needed. And I took an avalanche approach to just paying down as much as I could. And I've been doing that for the last 11 months. And I am on pace to be debt-free by June of this coming up year because I took that approach. And if y'all understood how good it feels to just be almost done with these people talking about their money. So I'm I'm living it. I'm experiencing it. And so it's easy for me to sell this to you, to preach about, preach the gospel of what OMM is with the money management education. This is truly a comprehensive education that I do not believe any one of you have seen for free. For free. It's not a copy and paste job. It's not a PDF. It's none of those things. As soon as you click on for example, when you click on the scholarships, it takes you right to the page of the people who are producing the scholarships themselves, so you can fill out all the information on their sites. So it's very well done. And the team, the group, iGrad, Enrich, this is what they do. They are financial education literacy companies, and they provide these platforms for hundreds of colleges and universities across the country. And for organizations, companies who go iGrad directly, they are paying in hundreds of thousands of dollars annually for their employees to take part in the financial literacy courses. So it's not free. It's at no cost. That's the term we like to use, because bottom line is we want you to use it. We want people to log in and use the information that is available. This is information that has pretty much never been available to us in years past. It is one of the great reasons why first generation college students go take that money and just boom, spiral straight down. They have no idea what they're doing, and we all know it. We know those babies have no idea what they are doing when they take that student loan, because they have never borrowed money a day in their lives. So this is our platform. This is our offer to help heal the situation that we have dug ourselves deep into.
And there
We
is
have a-
one,
Oh,
I'm
sorry.
sorry, there is
No, go
one
ahead.
program, like if you're a parent with young children, we have it set up where you can start, it teaches you how to start saving for college funds for your young kids. It teaches you how to understand health insurance and the best one that may be for you, because you got all these health insurance, because a lot of companies don't offer health insurance anymore. So with this platform, we help you understand health insurance, and it also helps you choose the best health insurance for you, because a lot of people don't know what to pick. So that's definitely a benefit too. It also helps with helping you find your dream career, and just a few of them. Banking with financial institutions, buying a home and understanding mortgages, buying or leasing a car, creating a budget and sticking to it, creating a financial plan for your priorities and goals. Is so many different platforms and programs in this that would teach you things that you probably thought you knew and you really don't know, or helps you improve the knowledge that you have to it and take you to a whole nother level.
I have a question. Well, not really a question, just maybe something for a discussion. Omar, to your point, and I think it's correct. A lot of times, when kids apply for college and student loans, they have never applied for anything before. They don't understand credit, how it works. But I have to say that I was very fortunate. I was taught money management when I was young with my parents. But I think that we're starting at the top. It really should be start in elementary school. Financial literacy should be started in elementary schools as early as maybe second, third grade, on a level to where, as they get older, it gets more intense. Why wait till somebody is practically an adult to try to figure it out? Is there something that Our Money Matter could look at in the future or incorporate in that? I mean, just your thoughts on this.
What my thoughts? So we are a nonprofit organization, and we have funders, and our original approach was HBCUs,
Right.
and community organizations and faith-based organizations.
Mm-hmm.
But I do believe leadership has plans on approaching our middle schools first.
Yes.
Our middle schools and our high schools because we approached financial aid offices with adding this to their curriculum, because this is a curriculum.
Mm-hmm.
One thing about what we are offering you or speaking on, this is an entire curriculum, so it can be implemented very easily to any current program, any current curriculum that any school, district, or college has. But it is my belief that our leadership team wants to approach our schools with it. And so that may be coming in the near future.
Okay, good to hear.
And also, you got to also realize education starts at home.
It does.
So even if it doesn't go into the schools, you could take these courses and walk your kids through them. Just, have them sit by you until they have a program like that. At least take these courses and sit with your children and just talk to them about, financial programs like this, and go through the courses with them, and just, even if they don't understand everything, it'll give them some knowledge, because you can talk to them at their level just by going through these programs and helping them as well.
Well, the challenge to that is getting the person at home, the adults in the house, to get to this. So, you may look at, obviously, you reach in faith-based organizations and, colleges or what have you. So you may want to go into businesses, and say, here's a platform that's offered at no cost at all. I like that, Omar, at no cost at all. And, start, implementing in there. And maybe that's where you stress it, start at home.
Right.
With it. It's really kind of like how you outreach to get this platform across, because I think it's a great program. I mean, my first day you gave it to me, I went straight to it. But that's because I was trained, I'm trained to do that kind of thing. A lot of people just not, you can't teach somebody something you don't know.
Right.
That's good. Thank you, ma'am, for that comment. We have a lot of people on the line tonight. We have a lot of parents. We have pastors. We have different leaders. So this is something that we want to encourage each and every one of you. Take this, like, even with your congregation. I know in our church community, I think you mentioned that earlier, our faith-based community, we're missing the financial literacy piece of it. We have so many people in there. We constantly hear about prayer lines and getting blessed and different things. But the real reality of it is a lot of people don't know how to manage their money. You know what I'm saying? So I think this is something very important that should be implemented in our church communities. Instead of, sitting down talking about other things, sometimes you need to take nights and just, see where your people are. You know what I'm saying? Because God said we could have cattle on 1,000 hills. He said that we should be the head and not the tail. We should be wealthy. So if all of this has been told to us, prophesied over us, why are our faith-based communities and our African-American communities at the bottom of the barrel? That's mindset. We have to begin to look at things from a different angle and shift the way that we look at things, So we shouldn't go to church and the only topic is about, people paying their tithes and offering. Well, if we educate our people on, money and budgeting and different things like that, then they wouldn't have an issue paying tithes and offering. You know what I'm saying? Because a lot of people get that money and don't know the first thing to do with it. Just as like, well, I got this I want, that I want, this I want. I do this, I pay my bills later. What don't get paid, then I get it next week or next month. And some people say robbing Peter to pay Paul. We shouldn't have to live through life like that. So that's the thing that we want to put out here. This is a free platform. Definitely take initiative. There are people on here that don't necessarily have kids, but they have nieces and nephews. Let's educate our communities and let's start changing the mindset. Right here, I want to open up the floor. Does anyone have any questions that they have for Mr. Omar, Ms. Bateman, or any comments that they want to say? Please speak now or forever hold your peace. This is an open platform. If you've never been on here before, we definitely want to hear from you.
Good evening. How everyone doing? Mr. Omar, you say y'all do prison prevention programs or reach out, and as a brother that's in prison, I sort of understand where you're coming from. Now, I got grand ideas that I think about. And like prison prevention program is one of the things that I'm trying to formulate a blueprint for, and when I say form a blueprint for, it's not that, I'm trying to reduce the recidivism rate of prison. What I'm trying to do is prevent young kids from coming to prison. I won't say that I'm trying to go to the elementary school, but maybe the early teen year before the streets just get that pull on their hearts and their mind. Because as people, we very visual. Not only are we visual, we're subject to peer pressure. So it's a lot of people that when people around them have things, they desire those things. It's a lot of people that have things and other people see the way that other people react to these people, just their words. It's like the more you have or the more you let people believe you have, it's like the deeper your words penetrate into their mind. Now we can reach the mind of the youth to start out to understand that everything you see is not meant for you to have at the moment, but in the future, such as delayed gratification, where you sacrifice this pair of Jordan this weekend to invest from this weekend to 5 years now, and you're gonna turn that pair of Jordan into a Mercedes Benz. Well, you sacrifice going to rent this hotel room, throwing a party this weekend, 5 years down the road, that same money will buy you 1,000 square foot apartment or 1,000 square foot house, 3-4 bedroom house. We gotta reach. When we reach them, we can't just reach them and not give them nothing to look forward to. It's the down the road method. Show them what's down the road. See, everybody want the instant gratification, the fitting in, and so what? But it's not just trying to tell them, oh, don't do this. Everybody tell you not to do it, but the same ones tell you not to do it, the ones out there doing it. That go from the teacher to the preacher to everybody else. But who is there to listen to these kids to see what's really going on with them? Who really trying to teach them something that will help them in their future? As a lot of people know, a lot of parents, the hottest thing for them right now is a phone and a game. Because that's all they want to get their kids. But they ain't trying to teach their kids the value of the dollar that bought that game or that's paying that phone bill. But then when the kids say, "Ma, I ain't got no data," well, you better go ahead. No, let's teach them about where this dollar come from that bought this phone and this iPhone or this iPad or this game. If we can teach them while they're young, they'll take hold to it and grow to it. And that'll help break the mold, to break the chains of the prison incarceration rate. And I just want to say that a little bit.
Well, I appreciate
time.
I appreciate your comment, bro. And be honest with you, I could have that conversation with you for hours and hours, because you ain't do nothing but tell all the truth and lay it out. And unfortunately, we dealing with a monster here, with our young people, with the neglect that goes on in our communities. What's very interesting is that many of the men, see, I got swept up in the Clinton crime bill, the 90s. So many of the men, when they just went across this country, decimated our neighborhoods, snatching all the black males. It was like straight out of scripture. Pharaoh said, "I'm gonna take all the males of the family and lead the women and the kids to fend for themselves." I'm talking what they did to us was straight out of scripture, but locking all the men up like that for that 15 years. Now, many of us are returning home, and I see a resurgence. Absentee father, it wasn't that wasn't us intentionally, that we didn't just walk away from our families. The judge broke us up. So, but what I'm getting at is I'm watching so many of these men who went away in the 90s come home, starting their families, and very active in the community. And so I'm like very eager and excited about the next 10 years to see what happens as more men return home from that sweep of the 90s. But one thing we do understand is that these young men are missing males. They are missing men. It's a different story. We salute the women. We salute all women who have stood in there and raised these children on their own. But I'm gonna tell you, it's a different conversation when daddy's there. It's a different behavior when pops is there. It's a different whole, you're not gonna be doing some things, saying some things, acting a certain way when the presence of the father is there. And that is what I'm excited to see so many of the men who have struggled, who have lived that struggle to come home and regain their families. Because right now, especially here in Chicago, we're dealing with a bunch of young men with no guidance, period.
Yeah, that's definitely true. One thing I was telling a client the other day that when the kids are growing up in high school, and I see it all the time because I'm a barber, so I have young men coming through all the time. I actually have one of my clients online now, and I was saying, one thing that I see that parents focus a lot on, especially when the kids get in high school from 9th to 12th grade, is them playing basketball, baseball, football, and they spend all types of money running behind these kids doing these sports. Nothing is wrong with that, because you want your child to be social, you want them to have different outlets. The problem that I find is when these kids get to 12th grade, a lot of, and we begin to ask them, like, what do you want to do, when you go to college or after school? Because some of them may not want to go to college. They have no answer. They say, I don't know. And it's because they haven't been exposed to things. It's because they haven't been taught, So I watch a lot of them. Some of them get scholarships. Some of them, just go off to college. They got accepted at this college. I think now during the pandemic, all colleges are kind of open. They're not really even looking for ACTs or SAT because of the pandemic. They're allowing the kids to just apply and they, will get accepted regardless of score. So there are open outlets for them to get there or to choose what path that they want to choose, but they're not being taught at the house. And that's one thing as parents we have to step up on. And we said weeks before, like the parents back in the day wouldn't talk to their kids, so it was passed down and passed down. Now we have you have a good bit of families that have mom and dad in the house, and but neither one of the parents are really talking. They're talking about the surface stuff, but they're not really getting in depth on helping their kids to grow. If you look in the white communities, nothing against them, but if you look in those communities, time their kids hit 18 years old, their credit is good. They understand the stock market. They understand about investing in the mutual fund. It's because their parents actually take time to sit down and walk them through those things one by one. They show them things and they don't just walk them through it. They sit back and they allow them to do themselves. They allow them to invest so that they can have the knowledge of it. And that's how we have to do it. Where people say, well, I don't really know all of that. YouTube University will school you on a massive amount of things. We're on YouTube all the time. Why not pull up things and have a family day and say, you know what, today I'm going to teach my kids about saving. I'm going to teach them about paying bills and, budgeting and how they need to handle these things at the beginning of the month and how they don't need to go out spending extra money on this and what they need to look for in the future, what they can have. Let me put their hands on it so that they don't have to go out just trying to figure it out. Because I think you were saying a few minutes ago about the men not being in the house. Well, because he's not in the house now, a lot of kids are going through just trying to figure life out. You don't have to keep starting over and over again. And that's what we have to get to this place of not allowing our kids to have to start at the bottom all the time. You should be educating yourself. You know what I'm saying? Even if your kids are a nieces, nephew, whoever's around you, educate yourself enough so that you can give them a foundation so that it will make them want to go study and research a little bit more and to understand their own money, so that they can take it on and pass it to the next generation and it continue to go on and on. And then that's how we become a better community. That's how we become more tighter knit and more educated. But the thing about it is, it's in a book. It's something that I got to do. I got to sit down and put effort towards it. And you know, in the back in the day, they would always say, if you want to hide something from a Black person, what you do? Put it in a book. And I can almost say, you can put it on the internet and put it in writing form, because social media and stuff has changed our mind now to have this, as Tyree was saying, to have this instant gratification where we're used to looking at pictures and colors and memes, and these things tell the story. So if that's what we're looking at, that means that you got about 10 to 15 seconds to capture somebody's attention, to give them some information that they need to have that's very important. Other than that, they're not going to get it, because we don't like to read anymore. We won't read. We don't make our kids read anymore. So we have to do better as a community. I'm going to open the floor up, guys. We want to hear from you. Anybody on the line that have a different perspective, that have anything that they want to say, the floor is definitely open. You can unmute your mic and go ahead. Yes, sir.
I have a question about, do you have any type of teachings on life insurance? Because most people who obtain wealth, they obtain it through inheritance. And I heard you say, Kiah, just now about passing things down to the next generation. The Walton family, they're rich because their father passed down the company business. You know what I'm saying? Do you have something about generational wealth? You know, we always hear about generational curses. Do you have anything that highlights or pinpoints how to set up a trust, or how to set up a life insurance policy to where it just ain't enough to put you in a little box that if you kick it, it'll break, and then it's nothing left for the family. You know what I mean? Like, that's real life, you know, especially now because of the pandemic. People got sick and didn't think that they would get sick at such an early age, you know what I'm saying, in their 40s and 50s, and they died and left a whole generation of children or a whole generation behind that is dependent upon, at this point, the government or somebody in their family. God forbid they fall in the hands of the wrong people. You know, I heard somebody, it was a family of, it was a husband and a wife. They were in their mid 40s. They had 5 children, and they both passed away with COVID-19. You know, so how do we teach our people that you gotta have life insurance? It's not. It's like your light bill. You have to pay your life insurance. You know what I mean? You have to pay that bill so that when your time comes, God forbid it's anytime soon, that your family is taken care of and they have more than enough than just to bury you. You know, they have more than enough than what they're going to fight over, because you already know they're going to fight over some of it. You know what I mean? Like, where is that part of the literacy?
Well, we do have a program that's called Creating a Financial Plan for Your Priorities and Goals. And in that program, it has a breakdown of everything from life insurance, health insurance, everything. But it gives you a financial plan to set up for your family. So we do have that as part of our platform.
Yes, and also as part of some of our courses, we even have courses on insurance, assessing those needs and how to save for a particular type of goals that you want. So to answer your question, yes, they're in the form of courses.
Because we also have one that's called Setting Up an Emergency Fund. So that's a good one just in case you have emergencies like that. So it walks you through the entire process of setting up an emergency fund for anything that may happen unexpectedly. Because a lot of people don't know how to do that. So that is one of our platforms.
And to be clear with everyone, we are not financial advisors. We're not financial advisors. We are providing the financial literacy and the education platform for our communities to take part in.
We're having any more questions? I definitely will bring someone on later to talk with about the life insurance, because one thing, even with that, is very important. We have these big policies. You look at a face amount for $100,000, and the parent dies today, and the child is the beneficiary. if they haven't educated that child on what to do with that money, how they can do it, turn them over to a financial advisor, they failed again. You know what I'm saying? It's one thing just to have their name on it, but we have to educate our people, because if you look at our Black communities, a lot of them, are, I'm not gonna say bottom of the barrel, but a lot of them are in low income, neighborhoods. They have a poverty mindset, have, just a lot of things going on, a lot of bills, just because it came out of the mindset I couldn't have this back in the day. My parents couldn't provide me with this. So when they get a good bit of money in their hand, the first thing they do is go begin to do the things that they want to do, not counting up the cost that, okay, I got this big amount of money. If I never invested somewhere where it can bring me more money, I'm going to end up broke again. That's a mindset, thing. So you find a lot of our young people, the first thing when they get money or get an opportunity to go buy a big, expensive car, don't add up the cost that it's a car note that come with it, is insurance that come with it. I heard one of my cousins say the other day, now the child is enslaved to this car, because now you got to get up and go to work. You got to make these payments, or they're going to take the vehicle from you. They're going to take this thing that you desire so much from you. So we have to still educate our kids. And I believe that when a child leaves the house at 18, they should be well versed. They're not gonna know everything, because experience is the best teacher. Sometimes some things you have to go through. But there are things that our parents should teach us, especially I would say from middle school, from elementary, as the young lady said, to high school, but especially middle school, when they start getting in trouble and start, doing other things or whatever, from middle school to high school, it's the parents' job to shape their minds into the way that they're supposed to go. Because we're not supposed to just let them out there into the wolves, for them to get eaten up, But a lot of parents don't understand about, like you were saying, the fast fund, the different things. Because when you go to college and you sign your name on these lines, they're going to give you that loan and stuff because you have good credit. You haven't done anything with your credit. So it's just easy for you to, get qualified. But now you don't finish school. You got this $20,000, $30,000 loan. You got to pay for it. You got to do that. So, and then sometimes college is not even the option. We make that as the only option after high school. College is not the only option. Some kids may just want to do a trade. Some may just want to go in other directions. But the basis, I think, of what we're talking about, Our Money Matters, is being able to have the financial understanding that whatever angle you go in, you're not bamboozled. You're not fooled. You know what I'm saying? You're not deceived because you haven't seen these things before. Anyone else? We have a lot of people on the line. We definitely want to hear from you. Not going to hold you long. I've really enjoyed this. But anyone else? Prophet Kelly, you have anything you want to say? We'd definitely love to hear your perspective. No? Anybody else?
Well, I just put it in the I just put it in the chat. I would love to see a part 2 of this discussion, possibly with Omar and Victoria actually going through the Our Money Matter platform, mm-hmm. and letting people see how it actually works.
That'll definitely be good if they would agree to that. But we'll definitely look into doing that. Anyone else have anything they want to say? Questions?
The only thing I would like to add is, hello, everybody. The only thing I would like to add is whatever decisions you make as far as leaving your estate and things of that nature, when you get it all fixed up, make sure you tell somebody besides one person. Never just tell one person what your plans are if by chance you are deceased. Make sure you let other people know. Somebody else needs to know what your plans are in the event that you pass away. Because a lot of times, you got this one person you can trust, and you can trust them until you die. And then they go and change things and do different things. So always let other people know mm-hmm. what your plans are or what should take place in the event that you pass away. Just want to add that little nugget.
Yes, sir. That's definitely good. That's good. Anyone else? Got a lot of people on here. I want to hear something from somebody. Yes, ma'am.
Hey, I just want to add this little bit to it. Good evening, everybody. I'm listening, and I came in on the tail end of the discussion about the money management in the community and different parts of life insurance and all of that. But in the process of managing money, we talk about the community as an educator and as older person in the church. I think we as elders or older people, I'm trying to say how to phrase it. The Bible said, "Go to the old because they know the way." And at this day and time, I know sometimes the young don't want to listen to what we have to say, but then you have those who will listen. And yet I always like to say the way we say what we say and how we approach individuals in giving advice or suggestions when it comes to money management. I think through our testimonies of life and how we have managed to get through what we've gotten through in life and living. I'm a single parent, raising 3 children, and I managed to work more than one job, getting through college, getting my degree at a later age, but yet having to pull myself back in and manage the money that I made and been able to purchase a home and pay for it. And I'm 60 years old, but it's a mindset. And we as older people, we can give advice or suggestions, provided that the younger person will want to hear. Even some middle age, there are even some of us at our age still don't know how to manage money in our affairs in our life. So just wanted to make that a little bit of the part as older people we can say and make suggestions to help individuals with money management, whether it's young, middle age, or older. So I just wanted to add that little bit.
That's good. That's good. Of course, like you say, call the old because they know the way. So we definitely need that wisdom. But even on top of the wisdom as well, we need that knowledge, that knowledge of how things actually go. The breakdown of it. Because a lot of times it's easy to go, buy a house. You got your credit together, you got your down payment, and they even have down payment assistance programs. You don't have to have all of that. You know what I'm saying? But there are a lot of times there are more in-depthness to that. We skip over a lot of that. By the time your child gets to 18, they should know about, buying a house. They should know the ins and outs because you've been through the process, And even if you don't know, there are plenty of people that know. Being able to take them to financial advisors and sit them down and let them talk to them, even if you don't know. What I'm saying is there are a lot of resources. So we have to learn how to tap into our resources and use the resources that we have. They're all around us. Even at this round table, everybody on here does something different. But I guarantee you, we open the mics up and let people talk, then everybody has some type of value to give to someone else. You know what I'm saying? So we have to start tapping in the communities that we're already a part of. Because, we don't have to start over. The word said there's nothing new under the sun. So if there's nothing new under the sun, somebody has done it already. Somebody has accomplished it. Somebody has mastered it. So we have to make sure that we stay connected and get the things that we need to have for this day and time. Does anyone else have anything? Again, like I said, the floor is open. It's an open platform. Definitely want to hear from you, but we will not be holding you long. Any questions that you all want to ask one of our guests?
And I want to say this before I leave, because it's about time for me to wrap as well. It's not the concept is not difficult for our young people to understand, especially those guys who ripping around the street. Because one thing we know about credit, forget it. Don't you ever take no credit from nobody on the street, period. Either somebody's going to run off with your money, or their plan is to set you up. So what you do know about credit is necessary. It's not a good thing. So when I bring that up to young people, especially with understanding, making the connection to the street and debt is debt. Somebody want their money, or it's going to be a mess. So I kind of preach it to them in that way, because they can make that connection.
That's right. That's right. Anyone else? I think my mother has something she wants to say. Go ahead.
Good evening to everyone. All of this, Mr. Omar, is just great, what you're saying. What I did to teach my girls about money, I got saved when they were 4. So after I was taught the way the thing is supposed to go, and it goes right back to the word of God. When we are supposed to pay 10%, we give that to God. We pay your tithe, you pay your tithe and your offering. Now, my number one uno, Miss Kiah, I had to make her go and pay. If I gave them $1, I said, okay, you owe God a dime out of that dollar. So like someone said, it starts at home. And if you got your a little bit of plain old common sense and wisdom and knowledge, when you know what the word says, that's the way to go. That's the foundation. So I would, even in church, I would tell Kiah, she was always one that was up front, and her baby sister, her twin, was following right behind her. So my Kiah told me, I said, you go over there and give Minister Anderson, she was the secretary of the church, give her your tithe so she can write your name down. And she looks at me, and I'm talking about like 4 or 5 years old. She said, I don't want to give God my money. I said, but that dime belongs to him. So I started them at a young age of responsibility. When I would come in from work on a Saturday evening, I'm a cosmetologist. It's been my profession for 57 years. I would come in and I would take my money out of my pocket and tell one or the other, 1 week was for one and one, okay, count my money while I'm getting my bath and let me know what we made this week. Instilling in them that it takes money, you got to work and you got to know how to use it. When they were little, I used to take them around with me to pay bills. Of course, when we got started riding, my baby girl, Kiah, she would fall over and go to sleep. I said, y'all, you look here, get up, girl. Watch what I'm doing so you'll know, what if I get sick and I can't go pay the bills, and then you can't turn, the water's turned off, the lights are turned off. This is the way I did it. Now, it might not be for nobody else, but I put money in their face. Now, way back then, it's been 41 years ago. It was more stuff is going on now than it was back then. But still, like the word said, you teach the child. You talk to that child and tell them, show them, talk to them how to survive. It takes money. You got to have that dollar. But anyway, she would go on over. I tell her, go pay Minister Anderson, go give her your tithe. And it was a struggle there for a while. But right now, I am so glad to say that I don't even have to worry about that, because both of my girls know the value of the dollar. They know how to survive because I taught them how to work. Listen, when I come in Friday evening, this house better be clean. You hear what I'm saying? You've got to teach that child from a baby. You've got to teach that child that this is the way you're going to have to survive. What if you never get married? What if you have no help? You got to learn how to do it yourself. And if God were to bless you with a mate, man or woman, then you try to get somebody with the same mindset you got to say, look here, I got a little niece that want to spend every penny. No, you got to save. Then her brother, he likes to save money. And I love that part of him. Okay, we got this right. He don't spend every dime that he can get his hands on. So teaching them from little bitty children, you've got to instill in them, you've got to survive. And it might not be nobody to take care of you. So you got to learn how to stand on your own 2 feet. And thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. We appreciate that. Mr. Omar, Ms. Victoria, do you all have anything else that you want to say before we wrap it up? We really enjoyed you all. Definitely looking forward to having you all back again. But we want to hear any closing words that you all might have, if no one else has any questions.
The one thing
Go ahead, Victoria.
One thing I do want to say is I want, with the courses, they're not long. It's not a long course. The maximum may take maybe 15 minutes, and it's very interactive. So I don't want you all to think that the courses are like an hour long. None of the courses are that long. The most that it may be is 15 minutes. And also, I wanted to tell you all that we are doing a Funny Money college tour. So if you know any students that may be at Lincoln University, we'll be there October 30th. Miles College will be there November 5th. University of Houston in Houston, Texas will be there December 2nd. And Bowie State University will be there December 9th. So if you know anyone that goes to those schools or alumni at those schools, let them know we're doing it. And they can go on Facebook. Our page is ourmoneymatters.com, and they can look there for all the details. Okay, Omar, it's all yours.
Well, that was pretty it for me. Thank you all for your time and your ear to hear what we have to offer with our organization, Our Money Matters. It truly is a comprehensive financial literacy program that has not been available to us in our homes like this. Now we can help our own. Some of us, we got seniors, we got high school students, they're on their way. And here's an opportunity to sit down with our own children, our own children and our families, to make sure that they have the information that they need before they start getting involved in these college loans. And be honest with you, our program offered so many things, but that student loan debt is one of the single greatest issues that is slowing so many of our young Black brilliant minds down from taking off with their careers because they have to pay down this tremendous amount of debt. So that is our target, to help them to get their minds right about that so they can begin their careers. We want them starting their careers off without such a great burden that it has the tendency to weigh people down into their 50 and 60 years old. So that's the mission. We are glad that we hope for you to be a part of it. Share with your churches, share with your schools, with any people, your educators let them know that we have a program that is no cost. No cost. All they have to do is sign. And one thing about it is we even have liaisons that work with that we appoint to work with you to drive the program, to drive enrollment. So not only do we come bearing gifts, not only do we have a wonderful program, but we have no intention on dropping it on an organization who already, you have other duties already. So here's your liaison, and they will help you to sign students up to drive enrollment so that you don't have to deal with that burden on your own or with your additional burdens. So it was well thought out. It really was. And I appreciate our team leaders for doing that.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. So guys, ourmoneymatters.com. You're part of whatever group, your family, whatever. Take a few moments and to go in and check this website out. Present it to your organization. There may be something that will open them up to a different level, a different mindset, to educate their people. And so we thank you all for coming to the virtual roundtable. Miss Alice, do you mind closing us in prayer this evening? You've been mighty quiet. We can't let you leave here being all quiet. So do you mind closing us in prayer? If anyone has anything else they want to say, please speak now. We're here every Sunday evening at 7:30 p.m. Next week, we'll be here Monday evening at 7:30 p.m. Our guest, at 8 o'clock, I'm sorry. Monday at 8 o'clock, and I'll be sending a flyer out. We'll be looking forward to seeing all of you here. We're going to be talking about depression next week. We have a few therapists, counselors on the line. I know there are a lot of people dealing with depression, and sometimes people are dealing with it and don't even know they're dealing with it. They're kind of just coping through life. We're here, we talk about all different types of subjects and topics, but there's things that are going to help individuals to grow. So we'll definitely save a seat for you next week at the table. Miss Alice, the floor is on you. Do we have any prayer requests? Alice, you can go ahead.
I am driving, but we'll see what happens.
Just keep your eyes open. Don't try to close your eyes and go in.
Father, how we thank you. We bless you for this time that we've had on today. Father, I pray that you were magnified and glorified. I pray that we will take this word and we will hide it in our hearts and we will run with it, Lord, that we will tell other people about it. I pray that we will be good stewards of what you have given us, Father. And we thank you for Our Money Matters. We thank you that we have people, Lord, that's in your kingdom that cares, because we know you care about all things. We bless you for those who came on tonight, and I pray that you will pour back into Our Money Matters, that you will bless the leaders there and everyone who's involved. We just thank you, Father, for you do great things because you are great. And we magnify you on today and we lift you up. Lord, help us to be good stewards of what you've given us, of our time and our money and our resources. And we'll be so ever careful to give your name all the glory and the praise you so rightfully deserve. In Jesus' name, amen.
Amen. Amen. Thank you, man. We appreciate you for covering us on this for this week coming forward. Guys, remember, as always, we're here every weekend. Like I said, Sunday, sometimes it's Monday. Next week, it'll be Monday at 8 p.m. We hope to see your face in the place. And remember, as always, I love you, and there is nothing that you can do about it. Take care. Y'all be blessed. We'll see you later.
Take care.